Because when I saw and she was like, yeah, like we just the stars aligned for you that day.
Yeah.
She's like, because we didn't know that the neonatologist would be there or Dr. Lopez would be there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and you were perfect.
And then Sean, I don't know why she was freaking out. She needs to calm down.
Oh my gosh.
She freaked me out.
I know.
And I thought I didn't know it was her. I was like, oh my god, she's yelling at Annie, and I
Oh my gosh. Friggin' yeah, that was ridiculous when she did that. Or when she asked why you were in that position. I was like, what do you mean? Why is she in that position? That is literally the first thing you learn about obstetric emergencies. Just cord curl up, get them with their butt up in the air, like.
Yeah.
So did it like fall out or just it was in the birth canal?
Yeah, it was. So I went to check because, and I'm glad I checked when I did because we're very hands off obviously, and I hadn't even checked it once, and then you were in the second stage by that point for 20 minutes at least.
Yeah.
More than that, because first you were just having urge to push and then you were actively pushing for probably about a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And when it's a woman who's had babies before, you generally expect pushing to go pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't seeing necessarily, I was starting to see labial separation, but I wasn't seeing like if any. Anyway, so I just in my head I was like, let me just go ahead and just like make sure we're noticing a change with the pushes. And then when I just separated the labia, there was like just a loop of cord like this, like just in your, so it was just loop of cord, and the head was actually still high. So that was like when I put my fingers in, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, the head hasn't even really descended a ton yet, yeah. And I remember when I was thinking about it, I remember you saying at one point, I feel something there. Like you were like, I feel something, and you were like, oh, that's your baby,
Yeah.
Like, you thought it was your baby.
Yeah.
And I think you were feeling the cord was just there.
I think so too. I think about that moment all the time, and how I just remember thinking it feels weird.
Yes, you said something to that effect, like there's something there. But like that's the thing where once again you almost never see it. This is the first time in 8 years of being present at births that I've ever seen a cord prolapse. So
no, not there.
So your head doesn't go immediately to that. You just think, oh, well, your baby's just descending, like.
Right.
So I'm glad that I checked when I did because I think had we waited another 20 minutes, maybe the head would have descended some more, and then it would have been putting more pressure on the cord.
Yeah.
The head was still high enough that I think that's partially why we were able to. He was perfect. I don't think he even had a time when he was getting less than optimal oxygenation, like where it was affecting anything. Because his heart rate stayed
like at 120.
Yeah, 110 to 120, but which is normal. Yeah, so he was perfect. But I know it's so intense when it changes on you down like that. Yeah.
I just remember everyone like, okay, flip over, and I was just like, what's going on?
I know.
And then I remember Norma just talking me down.
Which I was like, because I was like in the space of like, oh my gosh, call, nap, like whatever.
Yeah. You're silly. No, it was.
You are perfect, little one. So perfect.
It was intense, but we got there.
You're amazing. You were so calm the whole time. I was very impressed with how calm you were.
I was like, if this is the only thing I can do, I'm gonna rock it.
Right, yeah, you did amazing.
I was like, if I can only stay calm. God, but when we were in the ambulance and we were passing on construction and the bumping, I was like,
I'm so sorry. I know. That must have been so hard.
I know, and I remember hearing you and Robin, get in there!
Yeah, that was luckily, I think that it was as smooth as the transfer process could have gone that day, because everyone was there already. The EMS actually were here pretty quickly. So.
I know.
You just wanted a dramatic entrance, huh, little dude? She's very dramatic.
No doubt.
Yeah. He's so sweet.
He is such a good baby.
Is he very chill?
Yeah.
He seems like
for the most part.
Yeah.
He loves to be held. You can't put him down.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's so good. He's a week old.
Yeah. We all like physical touch, right?
Yeah.
Is she adjusting a little better?
Yes.
Thank you.
So when we got home, she was sleeping so bad. Every word was, and I'm just like, we don't talk like this.
Yeah, she's stuttering.
It's kind of like going back into baby mode a
Yes,
little bit. Yeah.
and I just cried because I was like, where's my 2-year-old?
Yeah. It's hard.
But she's doing better. Simone was just, I was like, Simone, I cried to her. And she was like, I did that weeks ago. So she was like,
Yeah. I feel like the adjustment from 1 to 2 is a very big thing because it's like you're you're like mourning the like transition from just being able to focus on your one child
I know.
and like figure out stuff. That sounds totally normal.
Yeah. So, but she's doing better. And then like the whole week before I actually went into labor, she was staying at my parents' house because I was having those prolonged labor signs at night, and so I thought, we did not remember. I was like, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. And and then we ended up leaving the Holy Family at 2 a.m. that morning.
Yeah.
So we just kept her, she would be here, and then she went to go sleep over at my mom's like every night. And I think it really, kind of freaked her out, like what was going on.
Yeah.
As much as we try to talk to her about it, So now she's doing much better. She's sleeping and she's chilling.
Yeah, she seems like she's doing her thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
And I had my follow-up with Dr. Lopez this morning.
Yeah, how did that go?
I didn't even see her.
Oh, who did it? A nurse practitioner see you or who saw you?
Whoever took my vitals saw me.
That's it?
That's it.
What?
Yeah, she took my vitals. She asked me for my medical history, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna look at your incision today." Okay, it looks
She
good.
didn't say who she was?
No. I didn't know who she was. She wasn't even in scrubs. She was just in clothes.
It must have been an NP that works with her.
Probably.
I feel like it had to be. That's weird that she did not introduce herself.
I haven't been introduced to any, no one at the hospital was like, "Hi, my name is, and I'm going to be your nurse," or "I'm going to be," it was awful.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing that.
I remember asking Gina, the nurse, and being like, what's this bag that you're about to put? And she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Mama, just rest." And I'm just like, "No, what
Like, I
what
wanna
is
know.
this?" And I
Yeah.
said, "I think this is Pitocin. Is this Pitocin? Why am I on Pitocin?" And she's like, "Oh, well, it's," and then, she was explaining to me, and I was like, "Okay, that's fine, just tell me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well," and I said, "So what's this big bag?" She's like, "Well, L-I." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "Liquids, because you're not eating." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But it was just pulling teeth every time.
Yeah, because sadly we have this system where, especially in maternity care, there's not a lot of informed consent. It's just it's just stuff works this way, and this is, we're telling you how it's gonna go, and it's very, it needs to change.
They did the hearing test on him, but we didn't know.
Right, they didn't even tell you.
They didn't tell me, they didn't ask consent for us.
Oh, jeez.
Nothing.
Baby Jonah?
Oh, that's not fair, Jonah.
No, but after we made that complaint and he talked to the hospital director, every then, "Oh,
The tune
hello,
changed, yeah.
my name is so-and-so, I'll be your nurse. Right now, I'm going to be taking your vitals. You're going to feel my hands here."
Right.
I'm just like, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you're always supposed to do. Don't go lazy.
Gosh. And has he had another follow-up with pediatrician yet? or-
Yeah, he did. My pediatrician was like, so they did the Billy vet, and his Billy Rubin was this, but he was 4 days old. And I said, yeah. And she was like, yeah. And I said, then they wanted me to follow up with you immediately because they thought you might want to do a Billy blanket or something here in house. And she was like, he's fine.
Yeah. That's also an experience we've had multiple times there, where they just keep people and say that the baby's belly is too high. There's a lot of what's happening?
Yeah, and she was like, and she's like, he's gonna be a little jaundiced because he's nursing.
Right, physiologic jaundice is one thing, and then there's jaundice that you're actually concerned about.
So she was like, "Did you tell them that you're nursing?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they told me to supplement. She was like, "Oh," and she knows that I didn't supplement with Charlotte at all. So she's like, "Oh, that must have been hard for you." And I'm like, "Yes." And she said, "Did you end up doing it?" I'm like, "Yeah, just to keep him in the billy bed."
Right.
But he hated it. He spat it up like every hour.
Yeah.
Mama's gonna be better.
He didn't want the poison.
Gosh, Aaron.
Like, don't give me this. Well, so, and he's been feeding good since you've been home?
Yeah, he's been latching like every hour or two.
Yeah, good.